That's right. Okay.
Cool. I
Uh,
can see the screen, so
that's
we're
good.
yeah,
We're
good
live
on
now.
my end. Yeah,
This is Christian with Two Labs Tech. I'm here today with Joey Ward of Forward AI, and we're going to do a review of my website. A small business owner, it's necessary to have a website. And when I first started Two Labs Tech, uh, I needed to spin up a website quickly, and I tried to learn WordPress, and I even got an Elementor Pro subscription, and I started going through the process, and I just don't have that creative gene inside me that's able to do this kind of stuff. So I was just really frustrated with the process. And I ended up getting a Fiverr gig resource to build out the website with, mixed success. Some of it went well, some of it didn't go well, and eventually we just kind of stopped working together because I just couldn't get as many of the changes that I wanted done. So the website's kind of been sitting in perpetuity as it is now for a while. So what we're going to do today is Joey's going to give us a review of the website as it sits, and then I'm going to update the website with a bunch of new pages and information that was created by my OpenClaw marketing and sales employee, Liz. So I tasked her with revamping the website using HTML, CSS script, because that was a whole lot easier for OpenClaw versus opening the different pages and trying to do it the way I did. That was one thing that I found when I went through that. So um, we'll get to that in a minute. But Joey, won't we start and you tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience with website design and why you might be a good person to review the website for me?
sure. So my name's Joey Ward. Been in software for almost 20 years now. My wife and I both run Forward AI. We're a small team. We build websites for folks. Starting to get into more of the automation side, but really websites are kind of our foot in the door. It's the way to kind of get into the ecosystem. After you've got on our Hutch Connect platform, the next step would be a website. So it's kind of really putting your foot in the door for us to be able to start doing some automation with you. I worked at a company called AgTrax actually for about 7 years, and I was a web developer there as well. Um, a lot easier on that side. We would spin up builders and basically deploy to, a Windows server, um, and have some of those sites were up within an hour or two. Just
Oh,
very cookie cutter sites connecting to backends. So that's a little bit of my experience. On the design side, I think that I'm probably feel kind of the same way. I'm much more interested in, hooking up to APIs and pulling stuff down and showing it on the website and not really caring if it's pretty or not, just if the data's right. So I'm kind of on the same side with that. So I'm interested to see how some of these layouts look, visually especially.
cool. Well, let's start with our homepage here. This is as it exists today. So as you can see, it's got a basic title and sort of a mission statement, and then it gets right down into our services. Um, as you scroll through these, there's buttons to get you to any place you want to go.
Sure.
You can click Learn More, and that would take you to the other sites. And then there's just some basic cards with statements about who we are and what we do, and then of course the bottom footer with the navigation through everything.
Sure.
So, what's
Sure.
your assessment of my homepage?
It's maybe a little busy, right? A lot of links. So, I mean, we're on the first page, so maybe we can probably even just start kind of talking about like the navigation stuff, right? And it's something that we kind of struggle with too. Um, it's probably overwhelming a lot of times. I know, especially on our Hutch Connect site, try to be a little bit more minimalistic on the Forward AI side, right? Because it's kind of a different vibe. I think Hutch Connect it almost needs to be in your face a little bit because it is a directory, right? So we kind of go overboard on some of that kind of stuff design wise. Um, but I think that for tech companies, and this is probably more of an opinion thing than anything, right? They need to be a little bit more subdued and a little bit more professional. So, but I don't think there's any problem there. Like I said, maybe a few too many navigation links up in the top. Um, but overall, pretty good. I mean, even the SEO on the page, so I kind of shared with you the quick auditor that I've been working on, and there's definitely still some bugs in there. But it was kind of a perfect opportunity to be able to test some of this stuff out on a live site to actually see what it is. I mean, we have our sites. I know kind of what I'm looking for and what I'm going for, so it was neat to kind of run it on there. And we can kind of go over and talk about some of the things that it flagged. Some of these were obvious things that were fine that it caught. So overall, though, the page, like I said, SEO, I think it looks great. The design that I don't lean on me too much for my professional design opinion because a lot of times I'm kind of the same way, right? Abby definitely has a better eye for these kind of things, design wise, than I do. But I also checked the page on my phone as well. I don't have a tablet. I can kind of mimic tablet behavior, right? But it was responsive. Everything looked like it loaded and everything. So
What's interesting to me is your comment on more minimalistic, which that goes, at least from my understanding, that goes against SEO. SEO is all about the number of words and
sure.
tie-ins and what you're doing. So I think what you'll see with the new site is it's very heavy on description and stuff like that to get that SEO high up. In fact, the AI or agent used a product called Rank Math on the website. This was part of the craziness of working with OpenClaw now is
Sure.
when I gave her the information that I wanted better SEO, she went and looked at the current website and said, well, you're not even scoring your site to know where you're at. So she installed Rank Math on the site and then
Oh,
started building pages to get higher scores on Rank Math, which was really interesting. I had
interesting.
didn't know, didn't hadn't even thought of that. So
So let me preface, let's back up just a little bit. When I say it's busy, so I'm totally talking about above the fold, right? Um, so anything that you load when you first go in, I totally agree. As far as keyword stuffing, I mean,
yeah,
you've seen our websites. I have pages full of it. Um, but I also don't, I think that it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because it's all for SEO, right? Nobody's really reading a lot of that stuff. It is really just for SEO. So I guess in my mind, even there's a split between what I'm doing visually that I think an actual individual is going to see versus what I'm doing so that when Google crawls my website, they think I'm legitimate, right? Like these two things are so totally separate because a person going to a website is looking for something way different
right,
than what Google is, right? Especially when you get to these pages where load times are are probably a big deal. So I just wanted to make sure I put that caveat in. I absolutely agree 100%, and I like the fact that they actually installed. So I use Google Analytics. I'm a Google guy, and I just know their APIs, right? So it's just easy for us.
sure,
Um, and in the audit machine or in the audit tool that I made, we actually go down and pull down all of our data. But that got my little wheels spinning here. Like, well, maybe why stop there? Maybe we could. Basically, the way that audit works, especially with our own websites that we have, um, we put all that data together, and then I have another big prompt that I use and say, here's this CSV, here's this CSV, here's this CSV, all this data about this website. Now go do a bunch of things with it. Tell me what we're doing well, what we're doing wrong, whatever, tons of stuff. What the page load speeds are on this page, if it's slow, what is the problem? Because search console and analytics gives you a ton of data. That's probably one of the big things now is trying to pour through that data to figure it out. But you don't really have to, right? You can just say, give me everything and go figure it out. Um, but I like that SEO ranking, and I'm sure that there's probably some tools that I could hook up to, um, API wise to pull that stuff down. So I'm already learning.
Good deal.
Yeah.
All right, so the services page, it's more of the same. It's not as nice. I mean, the icons really don't grab your attention, but it does
Sure.
provide some good information. Um, and to be honest, this look was something that I created in a product called Lovable, and then I
Okay.
had
Yeah.
my Fiverr resource mimic that. So
Okay.
this was a little bit generated by AI in the sense that's how I got the look and feel for it, and then I just had
Sure.
him mimic it by taking some screenshots and stuff like that. So it gives
Okay.
most of the information around our services, and it's pretty straightforward.
So one thing that I do notice,
Mhm.
and it's something that we kind of are trying to get better about, are these personal pictures. Um, of course, when AI's generating it, you can absolutely give them the pictures. But have you? I know I've already looked through it, so I know that there are some pictures. But maybe that's one thing too that I see on here, because I think that sometimes separates some of these. Yeah, I know it can put any pictures at once on there. It could put a family on if it wanted to. You know what I mean? But it just kind of gives it more of a less of an AI feel, I guess. Like it doesn't look like it's so machine generated because you've got a person that you're seeing. Um, so it's just something I was just thinking about, just kind of from looking at it. Um,
I think
Overall,
that.
though, you're
Go
right. I
ahead.
mean, it's the layout. It works. You know what I mean? It's simple and it just works. That is kind of that minimalistic kind of layout that I was talking about.
Yeah, I think that's the next phase in this new website development. Is one of the things that I was trying to get done with that Fiverr resource. It's kind of why we parted ways, was really building out a portfolio. Yeah, he slapped something on there with a bunch of pictures, but it really wasn't what I was hoping for. What I was trying to get was like before and after shots in some of these content pages. So, like if I'm talking about networking, there's a picture of a before and after of a job we've already done.
Mm-hmm.
So it does bring your attention to say, okay, this is what these guys can do with networking. I see that this is what it looked like, and now it looks like this. That's a good product. So,
Mm-hmm.
sort of bring in more personalization to some of these things where it can be kind of dry content. And do I expect that a business owner who needs some IT assistance is going to read all this stuff? No,
Right.
they're going to find the one thing that they're looking for and go, yeah, that's what I want. Where do I contact?
You can
How
do
do I get
that.
on
Yeah.
them? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fine line for sure, for sure.
yeah,
But there's good SEO on this page, though. Obviously, I mean, you've got a lot of great keywords on here. Cybersecurity. One thing that I do that I'm not seeing as much of, that I try to do quite a bit. Obviously, again, Hutch Connect is a whole different beast than Forward AI is. Even, I mean, the goals for SEO are totally different, right? Even for Forward AI, worldwide, I can build a website from somebody that lives wherever. It doesn't matter.
right.
Hutch Connect is very hyper focused to Hutch, so I try to put on tons of local keywords, just so if somebody is googling, directory near me, directory Hutchinson, Kansas, directory, any of those kind of things, I want to come up when Hutchinson comes up. If somebody googles Hutch, I want Hutch Connect to come up. So um, maybe some, I don't know, pointer maybe there, because I think that is something that kind of separates you from a lot of tech companies, right? It's a big agency. It's the kind of the same thing with us for websites. You can go and have a agency handle your tech for you, but you don't get the access that somebody gets when they have you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, so I think those kind of keywords would probably help out a lot there, right?
Yeah, and there are some on the, about us and contact page,
Mm-hmm.
but you're right, it's not covered across all the pages other than in the footer. I think the footer, it
Yeah.
says it across every page, but
And some of it's kind of hokey, like you could say support services in Hutchinson, Kansas, cybersecurity for Reno County. You know what I mean? You could. It gets so cheesy with some of that stuff, and it is really at that point it's just keyword stuffing, and you're probably not helping yourself at all. But that's why I'm on the call today, right? Like, is to
Right.
do a little bit of the critiquing.
Yep.
So, because the reality is, websites, it's tough, and from somebody that's building a website, they can be really really cool, but they could be really really cool for no reason because nobody's going to look at it. So
Right.
it's a tough battle to fight, and it's constantly changing too. So.
Yes. Yeah, that's why we're here. As a business owner, you got to say all
Mhm.
these things. In my website's been up since May, so it's probably time for some updates. This was another thing that I had that Fiverr resource add was a blog because again, you're talking keyword stuffing. That was the
Yes.
idea. Having the blog, I could stuff a bunch of posts in there that would have all the keywords. But again, we ran into issues where we didn't make it easy enough for me to go in and post after the fact. Right? He
Hmm.
did the first post and then didn't really provide any instruction on what I needed to do. And when I tried to go in there and do it, it like blew up the whole page. So I just reverted it
Oh
back.
no.
So
Sure. Sure.
yeah, it was not no bueno for sure.
Right.
So
Right.
I just got the one out there. Uh, we'll have more when we go live with the draft pages here in a few minutes. So that'll be
Okay.
good.
Okay.
And then, like we just talked about, the portfolio, really, it's just a gallery at this point. It's not really what I was trying to get to. Yes, I wanted to have some of these pictures up there, but really what I was looking was for more work photos, showing
Sure.
actual transformations, work that I've done, or where I'm
Sure.
out on a site installing cameras and stuff like that. And, we just didn't come together on an understanding of what I was trying to accomplish. So this has kind of just been sitting stagnant. I don't know that does anything for the site other than people get to see who I am.
Sure. Sure. It would almost belong on an about us section, right? And
Right.
maybe overkill on photos. I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's probably somebody who's going through this and looking because they like dogs, you
Yeah.
know. But again, does it serve the business any use? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not at all. Except for that you got some good looking dogs.
Yeah. And then the shop was an idea that I had um, where I was thinking about selling a product, but instead, this is again working with OpenClaw, my AI. Ronan is my sales and sales director, and Liz is my marketing and social media director, and in having conversations with them, the product that I was going to sell, we've decided we're going to offer it for free and create sort of a lead funnel. And what it is it's called a Cyber Shield playbook. Whenever I worked for companies and we had to get ready for a cyber insurance audit or try and get cyber insurance, there wasn't any documentation out there that I could find at the time that showed you what all you needed. So it was a lot of back and forth with the insurance company to make sure that you were compliant, which took 3-4 months of wasted time before you can actually get that insurance policy or be approved for your audit. So I created this document based upon what I went through and built it out step by step so somebody can take the document, read through it, follow the checklists that go right along with the document, and find out if they're compliant on a basic insurance audit or for an insurance policy, and have that information then just to hand to the insurance company so that they
Nice.
know you're compliant. So that'll
Very
be
nice.
here on the site here in a few minutes.
Okay.
And then the About Us section, right? This is probably the one that people most will look at besides your services is,
I
who
agree.
are you? What do I want to know about you? Do I trust you? This is kind of where you build that trust. And I don't mind this too bad. I think this is actually one of the better parts of the site. Uh,
Hmm.
it kind of explains our mission, what we're focused on. Um, it's got some people that I've worked with in the past who offered to help me out as I was kind of getting this stuff started. I'm probably not going to have them on the site anymore. I'll just have them in my back pocket as needs arrive,
Sure.
um, and probably just focus on. I hate to sound conceited myself, but that's
Well,
that's
I mean,
I am the owner. I am the one that's building it.
sure.
So this will be more
Yeah,
about me and the dogs, and being a local managed service provider.
sure, sure.
And then last but not least, of course, is the contact page. And again, this is where you're stuffing some keywords in, like our service area. And this is not an all inclusive list. And then you've got a basic, really basic content form. And I'll be honest, I get more spam from this
Yeah,
contact form than I do actual contacts. I've had
sure.
probably two actual contacts through my contact form and at least 300 spam messages. So
What do you? There's no captcha behind this at all. Then I'm guessing there must not be.
no, there's not.
Yep. Yep. So that's definitely one thing. Because yeah, totally understandable. Ours is mitigated quite a bit. I'm sure. I don't have anything without captcha on it, and I would imagine if I did, it would be horrible. Actually, I'm I'm wrong. I don't. It's not a form on a website, but it is a Google form that, for whatever reason, I thought that it was default checked in a Google form, for results that it required captcha, but this one apparently didn't. And I was looking over some of the results that it got for it was a form to ask questions about the Hutch Connect Pass. Honestly, put
Yeah.
it on Facebook, and some of the things that it was replying with, I was like, okay, that's obviously not, the way that it answers questions. Another tell is the all the website or all the email addresses were basically the same, a name and a number behind them. I'm like,
Right.
well, that's kind of odd. So, um, but yeah, I could imagine that if there's nothing preventing it, these web crawlers are just crawling sites looking. And awesome, you're submitting a form. Who cares? Like, what? I don't know what good that does somebody. I'm sure there's somebody that's making money out of it, or they wouldn't be doing it, right? um but yeah, I
Well,
could
it's
imagine that
it's
pretty
it's
frustrating.
all sales pitches, right? It's people trying to sell you SEO, or it's people trying to sell you an updated website, or let us help you create videos, or let us
Sure.
help you,
Whatever.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bunch of sales stuff. And
Sure,
you're
sure.
right, they wouldn't be doing it if somebody's not responding. But most of the time, that
Sure.
stuff just goes right in the trash.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's pretty easy to see.
Yeah.
Um, so what about some Google business profile stuff on here too? That might be another critique that I would say. You could even put your. You said this was WordPress with Elementor, right?
Yeah.
I believe there's. I'm sure that. Well, I know that there's a map widget, right? Like a Google Maps widget. Um, that might be thrown on there to help out a little bit with ranking and stuff with Google. They like to see their URL on people's websites. It's a little bit vain.
That's a good
So
idea.
that'll be, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But again, the form. The only other thing is the captcha thing. That's obviously going to be a huge or something to try to dissuade some of the spam because
I say that, and there may be a captcha. I can't remember if we put one or not, but it's something to definitely do for sure.
yeah.
Okay, so let's do this, uh, and we'll go ahead and go live with some of these new pages.
Now is
Uh,
that running a Docker instance? Is that? I see. Yep, I see Docker down there on your toolbar.
where do you see Docker?
I thought I did. Is that on mine?
I
No,
don't see
it's
Docker.
at the very end. Is that a Docker icon?
I see
Looks like a little whale.
Lightspeed.
Oh
Looks
no
like
no
a
no! I was talking about on your taskbar.
oh,
If
on my
you're
test bar. Oh, right
yeah.
here.
Yes.
No, that's a
Oh,
splash top. It's a screen,
okay.
like remote desktop. So I'm connected to my AI agent in case we need to do anything.
I see. It looked like the little Docker icon. I didn't know if that's what you were running your
Yeah.
WordPress instance in or not.
This is not the right about us. Let's go back. We'll do this one. Oh, I need to not do preview. I need to do edit and publish. Edit, publish. Mm, cybersecurity.
So it looks like there's a little bit of JavaScript in there for some of the probably some of the animation button type of stuff, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah. Uh, which one is the right one here? This one. Yep, that's the right one. Sure why the rank math keeps showing 14 on all of them. I went and updated them all. They were at 70.
Is that free or is that does it cost to?
It's free.
So do you just put a tag on your site? How do they do that? Are you sure? Or do you know?
It's install into WordPress. It comes from a WordPress
Oh, okay.
marketplace.
I see.
Uh, but I think it when I looked at the that's it right there. When I looked at the website, I think it works for a bunch of different products.
Hmm.
Uh, networking and connectivity. Okay, that's okay. Uh, miss anything? Let's go ahead and do these two. And last one. Normally, well, since there's some new pages with this too, right? I need to update the navigation,
Hmm.
but I'm just gonna have my agent do that. So looks like I lost my connection to them. So let me bring it back up here. Why am I not getting a screen? Let's see. Wonder if it's because I disconnected the monitor that I'm not getting a screen. It should still show me a display. Well, here, let me do it this way, if that's not going to work. I have it set up on my phone where I can communicate to them.
Oh,
Uh,
really? What does that use?
Telegram?
Okay, I've heard of Telegram. So I get so many ideas, and I would try to. I felt like some of these ideas were gold, but I'd be either driving or I walk in the morning. So I get up super early and I go and I walk the dogs, and I felt like I was missing out. So I was trying to figure out some way that I could basically talk to an LLM, right, and talk through some of these applications and basically lay out some different architecture and stuff while I was doing some of these walks. It's kind of like you have your best ideas when you're taking a shower, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, but it actually set something up and even had a parser that would build out. I'd had different document types and everything, but that was part of my forward AI OS that I was going to do. I wanted to have some voice command kind of stuff in there, and again, never came to fruition. May eventually. I've still got the code sitting out there. I mean, I even took down the database, but I grabbed the whole database um, schema and everything so that I can throw it back up. And if that's what I want to do, I don't know. We'll see. I've been interested in this whole Claude open claw thing that you've got going on. So
Yeah, so one of the things the guy that I kind of followed who sent me down this path recommends is building a second brain is what he calls it. And
mhm,
essentially it's that like it is an AI assistant, so your AI can grab notes and track things
mhm,
and document things for you. Um, so having it on your phone makes it super easy to do that if you're able to pause and just type, "Hey, remember blah blah blah." Like the other day, I had an idea about something I wanted to do with Google Workspace that might be an app. So I said, "Hey, set up a
mhm,
meeting for 2 p.m. on Friday and let's brainstorm ideas for." Um, mobile app for Google Workspace that I have in my mind.
I
So
love that.
he set up the meeting. I didn't even have to remember it. We met on Friday. We did our brainstorming session, and we think we can build it in about 4 to 6 weeks. So we'll see if that
Yeah. Ooh.
works.
Nice, nice. Yeah, the we were talking about it a little bit before and trying to figure out this cadence for like the SDLC software development lifecycle. And I I kind of got on a tangent, but the way that we so again, I'm kind of doing the user acceptance testing and then Abby's production, but I actually have different branches now in my code even, and it is treating the AI almost as a junior dev to be able to, I don't have anybody to do code reviews for me at home. At work, it's somebody has to do a code review before it even gets merged into the main branch. Well, now it's just me. So that's interesting though. I've never even thought about it in terms of setting up an appointment. I mean, that's really making it feel like you have an actual coworker with you, like setting up times like that. That's interesting.
So I'll blow your mind even a little further here. He's finishing up. It looks like he's done, so we'll look at that in just a second. Um, So I've set up a marketing machine with this basically, where we're doing drip emails and communications and reaching out to people across Kansas to see if they'd be interested in our services. And Rodin, who's my sales director, is doing all of that. And I even created like a training document for him on how to be good at making sales. And if he gets a lead, he can schedule that 30-minute meeting on my calendar. And then he participates in the meeting to record and take notes. And after, he provides a feedback session to see if I did a good job of selling our services. We have a back and forth of, hey, how did I do? Do you think I did a good job? What could I have done better to win this client? Or we won the client, and was there anything more that I missed out on that I should have captured that is maybe a revenue
Sure.
opportunity for us? And we just kind of do that review together, which is really interesting. So
Interesting.
it's a lot of back and forth in chat. It's still very much like chatting with ChatGPT or something like that.
Hmm.
It's a lot of that back and forth. There's a lot more thought process, I think, with the agents. So I've been looking at giving Ronan a voice, and I've
Hmm.
got most of that set up now. So soon I'll
Oh,
be able
really?
to have conversations instead of having to chat back and forth, which will make it a little bit more easy, especially in those situations where you're doing a feedback session like that. You're trying to think through at the same time, type down what transpired in the call, whereas it'd be more natural for me just, especially with a coworker, to say, hey, what did
Hmm.
I do well in that meeting? What did I do not so well? I'd really appreciate your feedback.
Sure,
So
sure.
that's what I'm trying to get to.
Well, yeah, that's interesting too. But and see, so a way that we've basically done a lot of this stuff, and again, I understand how automation works well enough to when we do these kind of things, I'm like, okay, well, we need an SOP for that because we need to do this the same way every time. We have a big wiki. Do you have a wiki for? Okay, um, because it's huge now, and it's actually split up between Hutch Connect and Forward AI. But that seems like one of the best ways to get to start. If you have a wiki that you can kind of use as your single source of truth, you can load that into the AI every single time if you really need to. You're probably blowing a lot of tokens, but I don't know. I've ran out on Gemini and I've ran out on Claude. Never ran out on GPT. I don't know if they just throttle things back or what, but
So we don't,
kind of beside the point.
yeah, we don't load that into memory every time, but we have a um, documents area in our mission control where a lot of that stuff lives. So if he ever or she ever needs to reference that stuff, it's there. And
Hmm.
sometimes it's just as simple as we're having a conversation about something, and the AI will not remember, and you just say, "Hey,
Hmm.
we already talked about this. Reference, look at the document, about websites," and it goes and reads the document and says, "Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. Here's what we discussed," and then it's back on track. So
Sure, sure. Yeah, I have a whole coding standard section on Forward AI, and I mean, even with the way that I'm finally working out the software development lifecycle and doing builds and everything, and I do not let Claude. it's strictly it's verbose in the document. You are not to merge anything into main. So I'm always the one that's merging everything into main myself, so I can check that code and make sure we've always got a working product out there for Abby at least.
All right, so let's see here. I don't know why my home page hasn't updated yet. Okay, so those pages seem to load. I don't know why it's going back to that old page. Maybe I need to disable that page because I have two services page. Huh. Let me get him to look at why the home page isn't updated. All right, so we'll just start with these services. So this is the new page for services in IT support. Um, you were talking about having a cleaner above the fold. This is, I think, what that looks like.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
uh, so this is all designed by Liz, by marketing and social media director. I had
Okay.
very little input on this. It was more just reviewing. She took the information contained on the current website and then added new information, and then I just reviewed and approved it. So,
Okay.
and we got some cards down here talking about other MSPs and maybe how they troubleshoot your operations, and then some nice cards that have movement to them, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then support built for real business, and then some basics.
Was the color scheme? It looks like the same. Huh? I'm seeing some different colors in here, huh?
It's a little bit different. We tried to keep it true to kind of the greens and wheats. I like those because I think that they're very Kansas.
Ties
Um,
into your logo too.
Right. So we tried to keep that as much as possible, but when she put it together, there's a lot of blues, and we kind of moved back to the greens and wheats and golds, and I really liked what we ended up with.
Sure, and yeah, I like the movement. That's some of that JavaScript that I seen in the code there. It looks like
Yeah.
obviously another good one. And I don't know that we talked about this. Some of these CTAs that we've got now, um, that big call one, that's gold, right? Especially above the fold where it is like that. I'd like to see some conversion metrics on that because I bet that one, if something's going to get clicked on this site, that's going to get clicked.
Right.
I want to click it right now.
That's
So that one's great. I like to see that.
yeah.
The movement's great. Yeah, we got so I would basically call those trust badges, right? Those are
Right.
that's kind of what those icons are. They're icons, but trust badges. Yeah, it looks like a more modern. So it looks. Here's what's funny. I'm going to say this, and it sounds counterintuitive. It looks less AI than the other site did.
That's funny.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. Yeah.
So networking connectivity. I don't like this. We'll have to fix that because you really can't see it very well.
Oh, sure.
Uh,
The drop down background.
yeah. So we'll have to
That's
fix that.
probably in CSS. Probably just a matter of flipping a color there.
Yeah. Uh,
Which is the awesome thing about WordPress, in my opinion, right? Like for somebody that's not a dev, for Abby, it's a lot easier. She knows where that is in Squarespace. For me, it's like, yeah, I could find that. I wouldn't have to click around at all. I could
yeah.
go and give me where's the CSS at for this page. I can fix it in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Actually, just based off the color, I could probably fix it, not even know what the name is. So yeah, no, but a lot better. It's just more fun. I see more CTAs too. Like there's
Yeah.
schedule free consultation down at the bottom, which
Yeah.
is, you want one at the top and you want one maybe in the middle if it's long enough, and then one at the bottom. So it's it's funny because you can almost kind of tell that it's following best practices for websites. Like you can almost watch it.
Yeah. So again, this one is more. I had all of our services on one page with an explanation. This is more of a breakdown. Each service sort of gets a page, which I kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if somebody's looking for something specific and they want to know a little bit more about that service, they can do that now. Um,
Is there any way, and again, I'm just thinking of this in terms of like somebody who's coming to visit the website, and would it even be beneficial, right? Just kind of spitballing. Would it be beneficial to have some kind of call out on that front screen that kind of lists high level what all the services are? If I go to look at this and I'm just somebody who is super non-technical, you know what I mean? Like what do you do? Well, high level, some of these things instead of having I again I'm just kind of spitballing. It's X The reason why I'm saying it, I guess, is it's extra SEO, first of all, but
you mean
it
having navigation flat across the top versus this
maybe
drop
not
down,
maybe and we haven't looked at the home screen yet either, I don't think, right? Because
right?
I'm still resolving to that other home screen. But maybe somewhere, on that home screen.
There it is.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So this
Well,
is
I
the
don't see.
updated home screen.
Okay.
So it talks a little bit from cybersecurity to barn Wi-Fi, IT solutions
Sure.
for rural Kansas. Down here is those same
Okay.
that you're
There we
navigating
go.
to.
That's a little bit more that I'm looking for. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So now we've got the home page. It's loaded now.
Perfect. Perfect.
So these are some more of those trust badges like you were talking
Sure.
about. I need to find the Hutch Connect image
Oh,
that
I've
you
got it.
gave me so I could put it
Yeah.
down on the banner. I looked for it the other
Sure.
day, but I couldn't find it in my email.
Yep. I can absolutely send it over to you. Let me make myself a note actually so I can not forget. I think I have a compressed version even too. That was another thing I was going to ask if I didn't see too many images, but you know, that's one thing that is nice about something like Squarespace. I don't know if WordPress does it or not, but it really compresses those images so you make sure that you're not just bloating your pages with these huge images that you get off of, the images from, if you get anything from Nano Banana, it seems like it just makes them super huge files, great resolution. They look great, but they're just monsters. You would not want to you would not want loading on your website. So
Yeah.
I was just interested to see if it follows those kind of things. I know you didn't have any problems with load time anyway on the site. I ran it through Lighthouse before we started and everything. So you didn't see, and I haven't seen any load issues here, right? Anymore, that's not, I don't think, as big of a deal anyway. I mean, it's not like the MySpace days where so everybody would start adding stuff to their websites or to their MySpace pages, and it would just take 20 minutes to load.
Well, you often see it too when you're doing a screen share in a Google Meet where websites will be slow to load, and I haven't seen that here either, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Again, the Liz, the AI marketing director, thought it would be good to have some uh, reviews. So these are actual reviews. We
Yes.
just withheld the names and put them on the bottom of the page, and put that in there. And then Y2 Labs called out right here, and then again back down to the bottom banner.
Yeah, I see a lot of great SEO juice on there for sure.
Yeah. So
A
that's the
lot of
new
paid links.
homepage.
Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah, I
then
would say it's visually updated, right? We talked a little bit already. I'm not the best to lean on for the design stuff, but it's more appealing to my eyes, right? It's just more fun.
Mhm.
See, another thing that it's doing is it looks like my eyes are getting old. Looks like it's doing some drop shadows too on those boxes,
Yeah,
which are cool. It
yeah,
it, it's just some of those little tiny tweaks like that make a site look like it's more interesting, not as boring.
yeah. I like each time there's a call to action, it's specific to the page that it's
Yeah,
on.
sure, sure.
Physical security, I think that's the only one we haven't looked at. So
Yeah,
again,
that was
talking.
actually it's
Go
funny
ahead.
that's some of the stuff like I said that the audit was actually calling out some of those CTAs and stuff like that. Um, that's interesting. So where did it get the icons? Do you know by chance, or did it just create the icons itself? All
It
these
just
images?
it just created them.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like I said, through this process, I've learned to not give specific instructions. I'm just
Hmm.
telling it where I want it to start and where I want it to end, I want the outcome to be, and it's doing a lot of this on its own. And I love that there's this. We built this approval process where I can review stuff
Hmm.
before it goes out. That way, it's not just publishing junk to the world. I have a chance to review it
Right.
and make sure it's good. But it's done a really fantastic job learning about me and my business and understanding, sort of my voice in this space and why the niche is important to me. So it did a lot of good things with this that kind of fit that niche without me having to ask, which was nice.
Right. So the only thing that I would be concerned with on my end, and it might just be because I'm a control freak, right? Like this is why I like to talk all these things out with it. Like we don't even start. I have a prompt to start talking about the architecture, right? Like I want my hands in the whole thing because I'm just concerned with, if something does break within it, I want to be able to fix these things. Do you feel confident that you could, if there was something that broke, could you go into this stuff, or do you care even for that matter? Maybe you don't care. You know what I mean? It, it's maybe a subjective thing to even ask about.
Yeah.
I mean, because if it's working, it's working.
When I had it all in Elementor Pro, I couldn't fix it then. So what good
Right.
does it do me now
Okay.
in HTML, CSS? That's why I have
Fair
AI
enough.
agents working for me, is so that they can do that work. And if
Fair
something
enough.
breaks, they're able to address it even if I'm at dinner with a friend and
Right.
somebody says, "Hey, your website's not working." I just send a little text and they fix it.
Figure it out. Yeah.
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 So let's see. Did we update the blog? We did not update the blog. So let me get them to do that. And they didn't update the about us, but we'll do that live.
So that's interesting too. They're pretty quick to this stuff because I have a process of trying to narrow things down when I'm troubleshooting, but it's a slow process. It's going through everything that's obvious first, that's easy to fix, and then kind of diving in deeper from there. They seem to get it done relatively quick here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we staged a lot of this stuff ahead of time.
Sure.
Um, so for them, it's just they have access to the WordPress instance. They just go in and make the update. Let's see. They say they loaded it. Maybe I need to navigate away and back. Oh, why are we back at the old homepage? That's weird. Hmm. Network connectivity. It's there. Well, let me see. Oh, they're doing something. Curious why the homepage reverted.
Right?
Oh, so it's saying the problem is Elementor. The page was built with Elementor, which stores its own layout data separately and overrides the regular WordPress content. Even though I updated the content field, Elementor is still rendering its own layout on top. I need to disable Elementor on this page so WordPress renders the new HTML instead.
That makes sense, actually. So that's another thing that I've built into mine. I have in my Supabase, any app that we have,
There it
I have
is.
a logging service. So we can go query that logging service for any of those kind of issues. I wonder if you could put anything into place for those kind of issues just so you wouldn't run into them again, some kind of guardrails for that kind of stuff could be helpful.
Telling it to check the homepage as well since it reverted.
Hmm.
So this is the new updated About Us. Real
Okay,
people, real
there we
IT,
go.
good for Kansas. Uh, a better picture of just me and the dogs.
Sure. More of the badges.
Yep.
Yeah, more of these CTAs.
Yep.
And there's a CTA in the footer, right? Is that what I just saw too down there?
Yeah, get in touch. That's the
Yeah.
old one. We'll probably update this bottom too to make it look
Mm-hmm.
and feel a little bit more like the rest of the site.
Sure.
But we are cramming some SEO in here too.
Mm-hmm.
And then the home page, he says, is updated. It doesn't look like it worked. Yeah, still same. Says hit Control Shift R. Let's
Oh
just
yeah, for a
reload.
hard refresh.
That didn't work. What's interesting is I don't see the big call to actions on the cyber security playbook or the farm checklist. I wonder how those are going to be linked. I didn't think that through before this.
So since it can actually, is it a skill that it takes? Is that what they're called to open up like Google Chrome and go and look around and stuff like that?
Yeah,
You could actually have it run some audits to just look at the sites, and even check for responsiveness too, technically, because it could control. I'm guessing it could send commands, so it could change the resolution and everything on those pages, and you could, so not only from a code sense, right, but you could actually have it go and QA some of these pages, to check for these kind of things, right? Like if there's a call to action, stuff like that, visually as opposed to just code.
right. So the explanation it said is Lightspeed cache is serving the old version. Let me purge it. And then GoDaddy might have server-side caching on top of Lightspeed. Let me take a different approach. Updated new content. Try swapping pages. So it says it should be updated now. There we go.
There it is.
So now we're back. Let's see. Can you also push Liz's blogs?
Can you actually use voice to text in that
It's not set
application
up.
that you're using?
It's a skill that I've downloaded, but it's not set up yet. Like he can talk to me through Telegram, but it's I don't have it set up to where I can do talk to speak or speech to talk for him yet.
I see. I use that all the time.
Yeah,
Constantly. It's just so much easier. And it's funny too, because we record every single meeting. Like, and I always ask everybody when we start, I'm like, do you mind if we record? Just because that transcript is gold, but it's funny, sometimes it just totally slaughters those transcripts. It's not even close to what they say. It's kind
yeah.
of comical sometimes.
So the new articles are up now, and
Okay.
each one of these are pretty plain Jane since they're just an article.
Sure. But it's, we know what it is at the end of the day.
That's right.
It's not really for the for the humans. It's more for the little spiders crawling.
Yeah. So that was kind of all I wanted to walk through with you.
Sure.
But I'm curious, do you want to try uh, a test? I can ask it to publish that Google map on the contact page to see if it does a good job of doing that.
Sure. Sure.
So, exactly what am I asking for?
I'm sorry, for what now?
Earlier, you were talking about having a map on the contact page that shows like a Google map that shows like a service
Oh,
area. You were saying, that helps with Google SEO too because they like having their stuff on web pages. So
sure.
what would I be actually asking it to do?
So you can actually embed, since do you have an actual physical location, or do you have like a service area?
Oh,
Because
it's
generally,
my Google business profile is what you're talking about.
sure, sure.
So I just tell it, hey, can you add my Google business profile to the contact page or?
I can tell you how I do it, and then I'm guessing that would probably be similar, right? So you can actually go and get some embed code for your Google business profile. And again, if it's the actual map code. So if you go and look, if you have a service area, like we have a service area, not necessarily we actually might have a physical address for Hutch Connect. Either way, it'll give you a little mini embedded map, a little Google map. And like I said, I think Google is my theory anyway, and I haven't been proven wrong yet. Google likes to see their URL on pages. So much so, I don't know if you just heard it. My Google just went off because it heard it heard Google. It was like, yeah, what?
Let's see what he says. I asked him, "Can you find some embed code for Google Business?" And let me. I didn't type that right.
Yeah, so the way that I've done it in the past for all of our sites, and then whenever anybody has a um, Google business profile, I'll Google their business in Maps. So I'll just try 2 labs. That's not how I do it. I know that I end up getting some code. Just it'll add, you've seen it before. If you ask if you want to embed, um, they do it with YouTube links and all kinds of stuff. Let's see, that's your. Oh, do you have a Google business profile, Christian?
I
You
do.
do, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Are you not finding me on Google? That would be
No,
strange.
I see the website for sure.
So if I just do tech,
Sure
there it
did.
is.
Wonder why mine's not coming up. So if you go in there, actually, if you click on the map, oh, do you have a location set? See, because when I do mine, let me go into mine.
Let's see. Maybe I don't have a map set because it's my home address.
Sure. Yeah, so mine, I can actually click on the map above, right by your name, and then I can go to share, and I can say embed a map, and then copy that HTML.
Huh,
It's just an
he's
iframe.
telling me that I don't have a Google business profile either.
It's got customer interactions.
All right. I wonder why.
Oh, I wonder if it's because I didn't do LLC. Let's go ahead and see. Because it'll resolve since you own it. Like if you go to an incognito window and try to do that, I wonder if you find it. See, I
Yep.
do. If I do 2 labs tech C, I found it just now. Tell your AI agent to do LLC. See if he finds it then. Oh yeah, you can click on your map as well. And it's set. Yeah, here's the. Whoops, wrong button. Chat. Yeah, that's actually the. Oh, that's the link. It's goofy. Yeah, and then there's the iframe HTML for it. So mine, I'll send you a picture of what mine looks like on Hutch Connect.
Oh yeah. But it doesn't really show a service area.
See, here's how mine looks. I'll just send a picture of it, or maybe. No, I guess I'll just send you the link as well. Oh, I could send photos through here. Oh, it won't let me.
You're still struggling to find it. Weird. Well, I need to work on
Interesting.
that.
Yeah, it didn't work for me until I put LLC on, and then it actually found it. So
Okay.
interesting.
Well, that's all I wanted to kind of cover with you today,
Okay.
Joey. I think that
Okay.
was pretty good. If
Yeah,
you
it was
don't
a lot of
mind,
fun.
I'm going to post this on YouTube and then do some small snips for Facebook for Reels.
Sure.
Okay.
I actually came up with a. I just built another application too for auditing some, or not auditing. I'm sorry, for dissecting some of those YouTube videos.